the Open Country AT3 back in 2020, it quickly became the benchmark for all-terrain tires, earning high praise for its balanced performance. But a lot has changed since then, especially with the recent launch of the Falken Wildpeak AT4W, which I gotta say is really shaking things up in the tire market. So it's about time we put both these guys head to head and see which one comes out on top. We'll start by looking into their sizes and design features before evaluating their performance in wet, dry, snow, and of course, off-road conditions. Now, both tires, although offer 15 to 22 inch rims, the Toyo AT3 still has a lot more sizes to offer. Plus, the tire is also lighter in weight, but it's expected since it only comes in 2-ply sidewalls, unlike the 3-ply options on the Wildpeak, along with DuraSpec technology. For those of you who don't know, the DuraSpec sizes basically have a high turn-up construction of polyester plies, meaning they are denser in comparison, enhancing durability on Falken's tire. But yes, like I just said, this also puts on some weight. How much weight? Well, I crunched the numbers across all sizes and found that the Toyo AT3 is, on average, 7.5 pounds lighter. On top of that, the Wildpeak AT4W has a deeper tread, averaging 1.13 by 32 inches, or approximately 0.9 millimeters more than the Toyo Open Country AT3. Feel free to pause the video to check out rest of the specs and average the data in these tables while we move towards the design section. Now, talking about design, both tires are similarly structured. Both of these guys feature symmetrical tread patterns with center blocks separated by prominent circumferential grooves, and these longitudinal channels are connected by independent lugs where you see S and F shaped ones on the Toyo AT3 and Z and C shaped lugs on the Falken's tire. But this is where the Falken Wildpeak AT4W takes it up a notch. It packs in a lot more biters with a greater number of notches and sipes. Plus, it also offers slightly more widened up structure, particularly around shoulders, unlike the Toyo AT3 where the lateral grooves are blocked by ridges. Now sure, these ridges help with road stability and noise, as we'll discuss later. They also limit mud and dirt evacuation. And yes, the sidewall lugs on the Toyo aren't much help either, as they are less beefier and lack the 3-ply polyester carcass that you'll find on Wildpeak AT4W. Though it's worth noting that you do get 2 distinct sidewall designs on the Toyo AT3. So, talking about dry performance, our tests put Toyo AT3 better here. The tire's centermost lugs are better optimized for on-road stability and directional grip, which means you get better straight-line performance. Hence, compared to Wildpeak, the Open Country provides 1.5 feet shorter stopping distances on average in our 60 to 0 miles per hour braking tests. Same is the case for handling, where the Toyo's more packed up shoulder lugs having ridges in them delivers relatively superior stability in comparison, whereas the Wildpeak AT4W lags with its heavier build, greater tread depth, and more aggressive tread pattern. Basically, the Falken AT4W generates more momentum while rolling, which means more energy is required to stop or turn. And that, along with deeper, more aggressive tread, its lugs become more susceptible to bending at the tire corners particularly. That's why in most of our tests, the Wildpeak AT4W ended up understeering, requiring a longer recovery time when the vehicle begins to rotate. So relatively, you have to be a bit more careful when approaching the limits on this tire compared to the Toyo Open Country AT3. Though things aren't that bad for Wildpeak on wet roads. In fact, its performance is overall better here. Sure, it doesn't offer as much traction as it used to on AT3W, its predecessor. It still offers superior siping structure compared to the Toyo AT3. Basically, the main issue with Toyo AT3 is its lesser silica content in its rubber and way fewer sipes, which become more apparent as the tire wears. I mean, after only 40% of wear on most sizes, almost half of the original siping disappears, diminishing its grip and overall wet performance. Now, before getting into winter performance, I really recommend checking out our best all-terrain tires video. This would give you a better overall picture of where these tires truly stand. Now, I gotta say, the winter performance of both tires here is quite intriguing, where the Toyo AT3 provides better performance on icy terrains and Wildpeak AT4W delivers better capability on softer snow. Now, if you can recall my average data, you'd understand why Toyo does better on ice. The tire is on average narrower in comparison, so it exerts more pressure per square inch, cutting through the ice for better traction. Plus, its rubber is also more thermally adaptive in comparison, so its biters remain flexible on icy tracks. On the other hand, the Wildpeak AT4W with more offset edges, notches and siping provides better snow-to-snow contact and with it, superior grip on snowy surfaces. Furthermore, its aggressive scooping shoulder and sidewall lugs are also helping here a lot as they act like shovels, pushing snow backwards, aiding forward momentum. All in all, you can't really go wrong picking either of these tires when it comes to winter traction, and the 3 Peak Mountain snowflake ratings on them are fully justified. By the way, this rating tells us that they are at least 10% better at acceleration on snowy roads compared to an average standard touring all-season tire. And busting the myth here, it's not a handling or braking test. Off-road is where, hands down, the Falken Wildpeak AT4W takes the lead with its rugged build and enhanced tread design that can handle almost anything you throw at it. For example, in muddy terrains, the Wildpeak AT4W's wider grooves and better self-cleaning ability sling mud away much faster, and its more powerful sidewall lugs help propel you forward by throwing mud backwards, just like they do in deeper snowy terrains. Plus, these more aggressive sidewall lugs also provide a greater contact patch on rocky terrains, delivering superior traction. On the flip side, the Toyo Open Country AT3, although does okay in sand and rocks, especially when you air the tire down, it really lacks in mud, where its packed shoulder blocks in particular don't offer quick enough mud evacuation. And yes, of course, the tire also needs a lot of enhancements in the durability department. Now, since the Wildpeak AT4W has a relatively greater weight and wider, more aggressive tread, it generates more rolling friction. So it's not really a surprise to see Falken using up more gas in comparison. But this weight comes from the tire's stiffer and more chip-resistant rubber compound, and that combined with its greater tread depth, you get relatively better longevity. But there's another trade-off here, as the stiffer rubber composition also contributes to a bumpier ride. Plus, the tire is also noisier with more open structure, allowing air particles to hit around, generating all sorts of noise, including groove resonance, whirring hums, and cavity sounds. The Toyo AT3, on the other hand, utilizes whisper grooves technology, using Cooper's term here, by the way, where the ridges you see between the shoulder lugs block airflow, reducing overall decibels. So there you have it, guys, a detailed discussion on both of these popular AT tires. Do let me know your experiences with them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them out. And make sure to check out all the other comparisons of Toyo AT3 and Wildpeak AT4W on our channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to subscribe, as some exciting videos are coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.